What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions, along with the bets I'm looking at so far for UFC 309 Jones versus Miocic. Now, first things first, please hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new, or if you just haven't subscribed yet. Leave some comments below on your favorite fights this week, how well you did last week, all that good stuff. And also turn on the notifications so you know when I put on my videos, when we go live on Wednesday nights or Saturdays. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. You can see my early UFC content, other bets like NFL, NBA, soccer, footy, all that good stuff. Also, we just did a UFC Survivor pool for last card for UFC Vegas 100, I guess. And unfortunately, you can't join now, but we just did that. I think we have over 20 people joining, so that's awesome. I think the first time we only had like 10 to 12, so we had a little bit more outcome there. And but yeah, definitely take a look at that. Patreon.com, JohnnyKpicks. You can support my channel for $5.99 a month or join for free. So last card was UFC Vegas 100. It's weird to say 100, but it was a pretty fun card actually. It looked crappy on paper, but it tons of finishes. I think there was only maybe 4 decisions, so that's always fun. I think the last time I went to UFC Austin, not the last one, but the one before that, I think there was only 3 decisions and maybe 9 finishes. So it was like one of those cards. So very rare, but maybe they gave them the old UFC gloves and maybe they got some more finishes that way. So well, I'm not going to go into it. I only had like 4 bets. I ended up breaking even. Basically, I think I lost like 0.1 units, so nothing crazy. Like I said, there was a lot of finishes, so I'm not even going to go over it. But Prates looks like a beast, and it's really all you could say. There's a lot of new guys, a lot of finishes again. So I'm not going to go over all the finishes because a lot of them were in the first round, so it's just kind of pointless. So let's just jump right into UFC 309. I think everybody is okay with that. So there's going to be 12 fights. A couple of them were either moved and or canceled, but first fight of the night we got here is going to be Veronica Hardy versus Eduarda Mora. So Hardy, solid striker. She likes to push forward. She has very quick hands. Good footwork too. Pretty good on the outside. Good takedown. She does have good BJJ if the fight does get to the mat. Her takedown defense is just okay. It's about 60%. So lately, she really hasn't fought the greatest of grapplers. If you want to say, I mean, Juliana Miller, she did want to try to get the fight to the mat, but she's very raw, as you can see with the 3-1 record there. But Horth really isn't the greatest grappler, wrestler. JJ Aldrich is going to keep it on the feet. So this is going to be a big test for her in Eduardo Mora. She's a very good grappler, very good wrestling, good takedowns. She's like very good submissions, good ground and pound. Her striking isn't the greatest. She is big. She was at the strawweight division. She is moving up to flyweight. So this fight is at flyweight, which I think is a good idea for her because she was struggling to make weight at 115. So 125 is probably going to be her weight class. But she's also, like I said, she's usually big at strawweight. She's going to be big here, 5'6", 66-inch reach. And this is going to be a fun fight, actually. The way I see it is if Hardy can keep this fight on the feet, she probably wins. And if she can't, I think Mora wins. But I'm going to go with Mora as the underdog here. I do like her still. I know she didn't look all that great against Denise Gomes. It was a split decision, but I kind of think Gomes won that fight. But Hardy, like I said, she's very quick on her feet. If she can stop the takedown, she probably will win this fight. But I'm going to go on the other side. I think Mora's going to get those takedowns, stay on top. Mora has very good top control, good ground and pound, good submissions on top. I'm going to say, maybe a late ground and pound finish, but I'll say by decision, it might end up being close. We've seen Mora gas out a little bit, especially in the Gomez fight in the 3rd round. But maybe this 125 move, 125 move will help her gas tank a little bit and go with maybe, get the decision win a little bit easier. So give me more to win. I'll say it's either decision or like a late ground and pound finish. So I'll lean decision, but it wouldn't shock me if it's like a round 3 like ground and pound finish or maybe a submission. Next one we got here is going to be Oban Elliott versus Basil Hafez. Elliott, well-rounded fighter, solid striking, okay takedowns and wrestling, good cardio, durable. He looked very good in his last fight against Preston Parsons, which is a good gauge for this fight. Not to say that Parsons and Hafez are on the same level, but they're the kind of the same style of fighter. Hafez and Parsons want to get this fight to the mat, but Hafez, his striking is okay. He's more so a wrestler, grappler, very strong. If he hits you on the feet, he may get a knockout, but he's not very technical on the feet. Solid cardio, very durable. His last fight against Mickey Gall, it looked a lot closer than it probably should have been, but he got the win, and he always works for submissions. And like I said, he's always durable. This is going to be a pretty close fight. I'm leaning Elliott here. I'm going to say by decision as well. Both these guys are super durable. I don't think Elliott's ever been finished in his career. No. Oh, he's been knocked out twice. So I don't really think Hafez is that much of a knockout guy. It would be more so on the ground if he does get a knockout, but he does have power in his hands. But I just think Elliott's a better striker, more technical. He'll be better on the feet, and I think he can stuff the takedowns. So maybe not early. Maybe Hafez gets an early takedown, but I think as the fight goes on, I do favor Elliott and his cardio too. So give me Elliott to win by decision. I think this is a pretty closely lined fight, and I don't hate it one way or another. I think it's appropriately lined for a reason. But Elliott will be a little bit younger, 26. Hafez is 32. So just give me Elliott to win by decision. It's a pretty close fight. I'll probably stay away from it. Maybe look at the overs and see where they're at. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this one. Next one, very interesting fight, to say the least. We got Mickey Gall that I was just talking about versus Ramiz Brahima. And Mickey Gall is a solid grappler. He's got good submissions. He's got good striking. His striking is okay. He looked good in his last fight, even though he did lose against Hafez, like I was saying. Good cardio, pretty durable. I know he got knocked out against Mike Malott, but that was 2.5 years ago. That was his first fight back in a while. But like I said, he looked pretty good against Hafez. And then we got Brahimaj. He's a very good grappler. He's got good submissions. His striking is okay. He's not really a KO guy or anything. He's pretty durable. He can slow down a bit after the first round. He did lose against Themba. Themba was able to hold him up against the cage more so and work the grappling and stay safe. But yeah, Ramiz is more so a grappler that has good submissions, and the striking is not really his game. So I think Mickey Gall, he can stay safe on the mat. I think he's going to be a little bit better on the feet. I think this is closely lined for a reason, and I'm leaning Mickey Gall. This is one of the closer fights of the night for me. I was kind of going back and forth to see who I liked more, but I just don't think Brahimaj will be able to get the submission. I think that's where his path to victory will win. And I think Mickey Gall could stay safe and win a decision. So give me Mickey Gall by decision here. Could he get a knockout? Potentially. Could he get a submission? Probably not. I think that's on the Ramiz side. But gonna go Mickey Gall. I'm staying away from this fight for sure for betting. Kind of a lower level fight, if you want to say, but Mickey Gall is the way for me for this one. Next fight, Marcin Tybura versus Jonata Deniz. And Deniz was supposed to fight recently against Derek Lewis, but Derek Lewis had to back out for medical reasons. So now he's jumping on this card. But we got Marcin Tybura, well-rounded guy, solid striking. He can wrestle, he can grapple. He's got good takedown defense, which he doesn't have to worry about being taken down. I don't want to say he depth gasses, but he does slow down a little bit. But he's going to have the better cardio in this fight. He's very durable. I know he got knocked out against Tom Aspinall, but that's Tom Aspinall. And then he also got submitted against Spivak, which was a little, I don't want to say concerning, but Spivak did what he had to do to win that fight. But Deniz, very powerful striker, good kickboxer. He has a ton of kickboxing experience. He's got okay takedown defense. He's got good volume early on. He's very tough. He's very durable, but he does slow down as the fight goes on. He did go all 3 rounds with Carl Williams, but Carl Williams is a grappler wrestler who has no finishing upside. And, he was able to win these fights too by knockout. Austin Lane has, You have to say that Ty Burrow is very durable. He has been knocked out, but he's getting knocked out against the guys who are like top level guys with huge power. And Denise does have good power, but I don't know. Like, it's the experience for me here. Like, look, 34 fights compared to 8. The grappling upside, the wrestling upside. So I like Ty Burrow in this fight. I know he might be a slight dog, if I'm not mistaken. They don't have the lines here. I think he might be it's a very closely flying fight. I can't remember if he was a dog or not. I'll look real quick, but I'm not sure, to be honest. But I'm gonna go with Ty Burrow, like I said, either way. I do think he can win a decision. I think he can win a late round finish. Yeah, Ty Burrow's plus 100. And yeah, I don't understand why, personally. I mean, I wasn't high on Denise. I was actually picked and bet against Denise against Derek Lewis. I know it's a totally different fight now, but now Denise needs to worry about grappling instead of the power shot against Derek Lewis. So give me Ty Burrow to win. I'm gonna say late finish, maybe a ground and pound knockout, round 2 or 3, maybe a submission. I do think Ty Burrow works the wrestling. He's gonna need to, I think, early on, anyways, and then I think he's gonna have a little bit better chance on the feet as the fight gets longer. So Ty Burrow, I'll say second round finish, and then we got Jim Miller versus Damian Jackson. So to note for this fight will be at 155. Damon Jackson usually fights at featherweight. We've seen Jim Miller at lightweight for a while, but Jim Miller is a junkyard dog. He's 41 years old, still kicking it. He's well-rounded, solid striking, good power in his hands. He's got very good submissions, solid wrestling, good cardio. He's durable. He is a little hittable on the feet though, but luckily for him, he's not really fighting a great striker. But Damian Jackson's well-rounded too. I would say he's more so a good, better wrestler, grappler, good submissions. His striking is okay. His takedowns are okay too. Good when he does get the takedowns. He can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on. We've seen a couple of his fights, both these guys, 36, 41 years old. Yeah, this is another closely lined fight, and I get it. I'm gonna just ride with the junkyard dog, who I think is gonna be a little bit better junkyard dog, and I think that's Jim Miller. I think he's gonna be able to survive if he does get taken down. I think he's a good enough grappler. And on the feet, I kind of like Jim Miller a little bit more. So we'll see what happens here. I know he's 41 years old. I'm taking a little shot here, but I've been picking Jim Miller a lot lately, and I know I'm like 2-2 the last 4 times. So I'm gonna go with Jim Miller to win this fight. I do think it goes to decision, and if there is a finish, it will be Jim Miller by knockout on the feet. I think. I don't think there's gonna be any other finish. Damon Jackson probably wins by decision too. So give me Miller. I think he's just gonna be a little bit more dangerous on the feet, and I think I'll take that edge. And he's a slight dog, so for a junkyard dog at dog prices, I like that. And it's gonna be a fun fight. We'll see what Damon Jackson looks like at lightweight, but I think Miller is going to get this one done. It'll be a close fight, but going with the A10. Speaking of close fights here, we got Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders, and yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Weidman solid striking. He's 40 years old. He's got good wrestling and good takedowns if he does go for it. Chin can be a little suspect, but he's been doing pretty good. You can't really give him the chin issue with Uriah Hall, but he really hasn't been knocked out since Dominic Reyes, and that was 5 years ago. And so he was 35 at the time. But solid cardio, always gives it all. He's got good pressure. And we got Eric Anders, who's a well-rounded guy himself. Okay striking, okay wrestling, can be a little hittable on the feet. He does have power in his hands, but not very technical. He's 37 years old. He hasn't fought. He fought Jamie Pickett in his last fight, and it didn't really look all that great. And I'm struggling to see why Eric Anders is this big of a favorite. Like, it's not because he's 10 years younger. It's not because I think he's more powerful. He's better wrestling. For me, if you're gonna it's a 3-year age gap. And at this point in both of their careers, I think the better fighter is Chris Weidman. to be honest. And I don't think Eric Anders is all that great. He looked very bad against Jamie Pickett. You can say he may or may not have won the Park fight, but that was 2.5 years ago. He beat Kyle Dawkins because Kyle Dawkins does not have a chin. Like, and I think that's the only really path to victory for him. Anders is to land a knockout shot on Weidman, which is very possible. But if he doesn't, I think Weidman wins this fight. I think he can get a late finish. I think he can get a decision win. I don't see Anders winning a decision. He barely won a decision by Jamie Pickett. So he couldn't get Jamie Pickett out of there. I don't think he's going to be able to get Chris Weidman. So give me Chris Weidman to win by decision. I think this is at the prices that he's at plus 140. That's pretty wild to me. I think this is a 50-50 fight. And I do lean Weidman more so than Anders. So I don't understand why. I think the line should be minus 150 Weidman personally, but that's just me. But give me Weidman to win by decision. I think he gets this one done. And I wouldn't be shocked if maybe this might be his last fight in Madison Square Garden. That does worry me for the pick, but he's fighting Eric Anders, which is a guy I don't think the UFC is trying to work up. So I think this might be one of those like Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price endings, and maybe finally the retiree actually gets a win and goes out on top. So Weidman to win by decision. That's what I'm going to say. This is going to be one of the better fights, actually. It might be a low-key banger, and I'm looking forward to it. Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee. And Martinez, very good striker, very good leg kicks. His boxing is okay, better leg kicker, just better kicks in general. He does have okay grappling if the fight gets to the ground. He can leave himself open for counters a ton with those leg kicks. We've seen it time and time again. He did lose that way with Aldo. Aldo was able to pressure him and have the better boxing, get in kicking range, and he's durable. And but he is durable. He has been knocked down. He got up all the time. So that's something to think about here. But Marcus McGee, man, well-rounded guy. He's got good grappling. He's got good power in his hands, solid striking, good submissions. He likes to push forward. He's very durable. I know he doesn't have a lot of fights on his record, but he's, like I said, I think Marcus McGee has the style to beat Jonathan Martinez, and that's pressure him, pressure the kicker, and get into his face. And he's got good power in his hands and good boxing. He's durable too. And I think McGee gets this one done. I think he actually can get a knockout here or a decision. I think, Martinez is going to have to win by decision because McGee is very, very, very tough. And he's going to have to just stay at range and land those kicks. But I don't think Marcus is going to let him do that. He pushes forward every one of his fights recently that I've watched against Gaston. He was pushing those fights or pushing forward until he got the knockout. He was pushing the pace on JP Bison. None of these guys are lower level guys, but it is a step up for Marcus, but he has the style, I think, that could beat Martinez. And Aldo gave everybody the blueprint on how to win. So give me McGee to win. I don't know if it's going to be a finish. I'll go ahead and say a finish. McGee is very dangerous, and maybe he does rock Martinez, and it's a club and sub, one of those things. So give me second round finish for McGee. I like McGee here. It's a closely lined fight, but I think the value and the dangerous and the more dangerous guy is going to be McGee. So I'm okay with laying the little bit of chalk if you want to do that bet. If not, cool beans. But give me McGee to win. I'm going to say second or third round finish. Next one, main card, we got Ruffy versus James Lontop, whatever you want to say. Ruffy, he's having a tough time trying to find guys who will fight him. He was supposed to fight. Who was he supposed to fight? Because Lontop is taking this fight on short notice. I forgot off the top of my head. Anyways, doesn't matter. Ruffy, very good striker. He's got very good kicks. He's got quick hands. He's durable, decent cardio. We haven't really seen him too crazy into the fights. I believe like second round, we've seen him slow down a little bit, but nothing terrible where he's like death gassing or anything. We haven't really seen his ground game. He does have pretty good takedown defense, I will say. But luckily for him, he's fighting James Lontop, who is taking this fight on short notice. Well-rounded guy. He's got good striking. We did just see him lose to Borishev. He just got rear naked choke against Chris Padilla, and I think Ruffy is way better than those guys. Way better. But a lot of times, he's durable. He's got good cardio. He can wrestle, but he's more so a striker. And I think the better striker here is Ruffy all day. This is basically, this is a gimme. Give me Ruffy to win by knockout. I'm going to say second round knockout, maybe first. But Ruffy is a problem in the lightweight division. He could be the next guy. So these fighting nerds guys, like we saw last week with Prates, dangerous, very, very, very dangerous. And he's one of those guys that it's just very, very, very dangerous. So Ruffy to win by knockout, and we'll keep it short and sweet. Here comes another good fight. Karine Silva versus Vivian Araujo. And we got Karine, very good grappler, good takedowns, very good submissions, whether it's leg locks, rear naked chokes, arm bars. She's talented in every submission, if you want to say. Good top control. Her striking is getting better. She does have power on her feet. And, we've seen her kind of slow down as the fight goes on sometimes. But, she did win again against Lipsky by decision. So that's a good look. Most of the time, she's not making it go to decision. She was able to beat Miraz before Souza by knee bar. So she's getting finished. She's a finisher. But it was good to see that she went all 3 rounds with Lipsky, just to see that she does have the cardio. And Vivian is a very durable fighter here. She's very well-rounded. I know she's a little older. She's 37. She's not really the greatest finisher nowadays, but she's got, good takedowns. She can slow down after maybe a round and a half, 2 rounds. She can be a little hittable on the feet, but she's durable, like I said. And got to go Silva here, the younger fighter, the more dangerous fighter at this moment in both of their careers. Araujo does have a chance to win this fight if she can just, stay safe and keep this fight on the feet, maybe. But if Silva gets this fight to the mat, I think it might be danger for Araujo, but Araujo does have very good takedown defense. So either way, though, if Silva keeps on the feet, I liked her striking in her last fight against Lipsky, and Lipsky is a pretty good striker. And so give me Silva to win. I'll say, late finish, round 3 decision. That could be a good bet just in case, because like I said, Araujo does slow down in the later rounds a bit, and maybe Silva can get her out of there. But I just think she's more dangerous, and she's younger. She's more hungry. And Araujo, she lost against Natalia Silva, and I think Natalia Silva is very good too. And I think Karine Silva is very good too. So give me Silva to win round 3 or decision. And we got Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. And we got Nickel, who we all know is a very, very good wrestler, collegiate wrestler, very good submissions, very good takedowns. His striking is a work in progress. He's only had 6 MMA fights, and we'll be saying this for a while. But he is learning on the job, if you want to say. Like, he was able to get Cody Brundage out of there later than we all expected, and Cody Brundage isn't the greatest fighter. Val Woodburn, again, he knocked him out. Not the greatest fighter. Jamie Pickett, again, not the greatest fighter. So they're slowly working him up. Is this a step up? Yeah, Paul Craig is no bum by any means. He's a very good grappler himself. He's got very good submissions. His striking is not great. He does slow down after a round and a half. And that's his thing. Like, if he doesn't get an early submission, then he kind of isn't going to win the fight. Or an early stoppage, if you want to say. So give me Bo Nickel. Shocker alert. Nothing. I'm not trying to do a hot take here, but Paul Craig, man, he does have a shot if he can just maybe catch Nickel when he isn't paying attention with the submission. Maybe he does get taken down, Paul Craig, and then he just wraps up like an arm triangle or an arm bar or something like that. But I think Nickel will be okay if he does get this fight to the mat. And I think, maybe second or third round finish for Nickel. I'm almost positive that this fight will be set at 1.5. Look at the over, see what it's at. If it's plus money, that's something you can look at. I think Nickel gets this. I think this fight goes in the round 2. And I think Nickel will win in round 2 or round 3. So give me Nickel to win. I'll say by submission, maybe ground and pound or some kind of finish, just because Paul Craig, I just think he's going to gas out, and I think it's just going to be over from there. Brendan Allen was able to get a submission on him. A lot of knockouts on the feet. But I think Nickel will get the finish on the mat. So that's what I think. Co-main event. It's Charles Oliveira time versus Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira, my guy. We got he is amazing grappler. He's got very good submissions. Obviously, he's got the most submissions in UFC history, or finishes, whatever you want to say. Very good striker. He's got power. He can be a little hittable on the feet, but he does always push forward. Very good knees in the clinch. And yeah, we've seen this fight happen a while ago, and might happen the same way. But I'll just go ahead and say with Chandler, he hasn't fought in 2 years. He was looking for that Conor McGregor payday, but he didn't get it. He's 38 years old now, hasn't fought in almost 2 years, but he's well-rounded. He's got powerful striking. He's got good takedowns. He's got explosive takedowns with good wrestling. Fight IQ, though, very questionable at times. He does make a lot of mistakes, especially later in the fight when he gets a little tired. He's almost too aggressive at times, and that's his Achilles heel. He likes to put on a good show, and it does get to him. He does want to go for the finish. I get it. But Oliveira does as well, but I think he's got better fight IQ. So give me Oliveira to win. I think this is pretty much a no-brainer. One of my most confident picks on the card. Not saying that because Charles Oliveira is my favorite fighter, but this is just, to me, another submission or finish later in the fight, second or third round. Is this a 5-round fight? That's a good question. Let me look real quick. It is a 5-round fight. There's going to be a finish in this fight. So, because if it was 3, it might not be. But now it's 5. It's going to be a finish in this fight one way or another. If you like Charles Oliveira, just bet inside the distance. You're going to get a better price. This fight's not going to go all 5 rounds one way or another. Just when that prop comes out, inside the distance for Oliveira is the way to go. If you like Chandler, I mean, plus 200 is already a good bet, so you can do that. So I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira inside the distance. I think he gets it done in rounds 2 or 3. If it gets into the championship rounds, I would be shocked one way or another, but Charles Oliveira is my guy, and he will get this one done yet again. And I know the rematches never happen the same way, but this is one that might. Main event, John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. And John Jones is the GOAT, coming back after about a year and a half from Cyril Gane. Made Cyril Gane look like a fool, but he's very well-rounded. Very good striker, good elbows, as we all know with the 12-6. They've said it time and time again in the last 5 cards because of the 12-6. Very good wrestler, good submissions, as we've seen. But Stipe, guess what? He hasn't fought in 3.5 years. Don't know why, but he's a very good striker too. Good power, solid takedowns. He's durable. I know he got knocked out in his last fight against Francis Ngannou, but Ngannou can knock out anybody. He's usually fighting either Francis Ngannou or Daniel Cormier. But John Jones is a different beast. And with Stipe's inactivity, if you want to say, this is a very tough ask, and you got to give John Jones a win here. At least pick him. I think he's going to get this one done inside the distance again. If you want to bet John Jones, just bet him inside the distance, because I just don't think Miocic is going to be able to survive for 5 rounds. And if he does, I'll be shocked. It could happen. But the minus 650, I mean, unless you want to boost your parlay, to plus money, or if you want to boost them to, you have a parlay that's plus 180 and you want it to plus 220, there you go, do it. But yeah, John Jones wins this fight. Stipe's inactivity for me, and that's the biggest here. He's 42 years old. Both these guys are going to be on the lower end of the heavyweight division, as in weight. So they're probably both going to weigh about 240, 235. It'll be a fun fight, but I just think after the first round, it's going to be John Jones all day, if it even gets to the second round. So John Jones inside the distance. Rounds 1, 2, or 3. That could be a good bet too there, if you want to do that. But that is it. Like I said, we only had 12 fights for a pay-per-view. There was a couple of them that were canceled, moved, whatever you want to say. So yeah, this should be a pretty good card. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of decent fights. And that's all I got for you. I know this is a quicker video, 30 minutes. Trying to do them quicker for everybody so they don't have to worry about watching 90 hours of John talk. But please hit that like button for me. Also, like I said, defend your units. This might be the last show with Cody from Blood Money MMA Bets, but don't worry, everything's fine. I will continue to do defend your units on Wednesday nights. I'll just probably have a special guest. I'll switch up guests here and there. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly yet. We'll figure that out maybe in the beginning of 2025. So, but I know I'm going to have guests, obviously, for the rest of the year. So definitely don't forget about us. Defend your units. Everything's fine. Wednesday nights will still be there. Just unfortunately, Cody will not be. Whenever he comes back, though, we'll jump right back in like we used to do. The Saturday night shows, or Saturday before the fight shows, we'll see what happens. I think I'm going to wait until next year, and we'll see what happens with that. Maybe I'll do something different. But Wednesday nights will always be the same. Like I said, just might be different guests here and there. So always just tune in as always, and we're always gonna have a good time. She'll give you our bets and our live show bets and all that. And nothing's gonna change, just the person, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It happens. So we will miss Cody, as we all will. And but maybe I can get him on every now and then from time to time, just for fun, and we'll do that. So thanks for watching, guys. Please, like I said, please hit that like button, check out my Patreon, subscribe, all that good stuff. Take care, good luck with your picks and bets, and until next time, happy fight night.